Hey, what's going on, my Evercade viewers? My name's Evercade, welcome to the channel. And today, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about recently. Obviously, for those you don't know, about a few months ago, I think it was, I made a video talking about why I was buying the Commodore 64 or C64 collection on Evercade despite owning a C64 Mini. And obviously, I've done that, had a C64 Mini collection, C64 collection for quite a few weeks now, and I've just been thinking, right, and this is quite a big thing. I've been thinking, quite simply, which one's better. Like, if you want to experience the Commodore 64 and C64 line of computers, which one's the better way of doing it, why, and which one's a better value for money. Now, obviously, it all depends on what you want, because obviously the C64 collection on Evercade only really works if you have an Evercade. If you don't have an Evercade system in any way, so you're not a handheld, EXP or VS, there's no way you can actually use the cartridge. Now, the C64 Mini is obviously its own little system, has its own like HDMI and all that sort of stuff. So that system, if you're just looking for the convenience to play the games, that's the system you want to go for. Whilst the C64 collection only really works if you have an Evercade system and you're already in the Evercade ecosystem. Now, despite that, let's also look at the facts that the C64 Mini collection, well, the C64 collection on Evercade only has 14 games for £18. That's quite that's quite good value for a lot of people. Yeah, that's quite good value. 14 games for £18. But then currently, what's retailing at the minute, the C64 Mini console, I got for 40 quid, £40 for 64 games. Now that's quite a big difference in value there, because I paid roughly half of that for the C64 collection on Evercade, and obviously the Evercade cartridge. Obviously, I already had to have an Evercade for it to work. Obviously, I already own. I own at least one version of every Evercade system. Obviously, pre-ordered the EXP. I own a handheld, and I've got the VS. Right. So I've always spent hundreds on the Evercade. To be fair. Um. Yeah. So I already have the system for it to work. So that it's a good purchase for me. But it's nearly 20 quid for the cartridge, 14 games, when I paid £40 for the C64 Mini, uh, and I got obviously 64 games on it system. It's a great little system, obviously, in my opinion. It's a great little micro console. It's just the value of it. When it came out, it was like £100 I think it was. So I didn't buy it back then. Obviously, I saw it in my in game when I was on holiday for 40 quid. So I thought, hey, I'll buy it. So I bought it. But what you also got to realise is obviously the C64 collection on Evercade has another aspect to it that people seem to overlook, and that's the fact that the C64 collection on Evercade has the option to obviously be played portably on a handheld. Right? You can't take the C64 Mini and make it portable really, unless you have like a screen or something like that in your bag. The C64 Mini collection, like using C64 Mini collection, C64 collection on Evercade, you can just put the Evercade handheld, the Evercade EXP, take wherever you go. But once again, you need to actually have an Evercade for it to work. Now, right, this is the big point. The C64 collection on Evercade has a virtual keyboard, which is great. And I'll be honest, the controls they've used to emulate the system, to emulate the Commodore, well, C64, on the Evercade version, in my opinion, is a better way than the way of the C64 Mini, because that joystick is just awful. Right, that joystick is just terrible. I made a whole video where I used the C64 Mini joystick on the Evercade VS, and it barely worked. Right, this joystick is too stiff. It's not a good controller, and that's where the C64 collection on Evercade has it beat, because obviously you can use your own controller, you can use the VS controller, you can use the built-in controls on the EXP or the handheld. You know, to me, when it comes to value for money, the C64 Mini is the better value for money, but the C64 collection on Evercade is better for convenience. And that's just how it is. In life, not everything that's cheap is always the best. Not everything that's always cheaper is always more accessible or more useful. Because with the C64 collection, obviously you can play on 3 different systems. Whilst the C64 Mini, you obviously have to have a TV, power source, all that's linked up. You know, you can also play the C64 collection portably, uh, and obviously it has better controls in my opinion than what you get with the C64 Mini. Now, that's not knock against the C64 Mini. The C64 Mini is a great system. It's got tons of great games, and if you can get it for like 40 quid like I did, there's nothing stopping you. I'm not going to stop you and say don't buy it. I'm just saying, like, if you can get it for cheaper than it was when it retailed, sure, go ahead. That's also a reason why I haven't bought that Amiga 500 Mini yet, because the Amiga 500 Mini is like uh, what, £130 currently, and it's only got 25 games, so I don't see the point in paying that much money for it. But obviously if it drops in price, I might buy one and obviously test it out, see how it does. And obviously I'll compare it to the Amiga collections on Evercade when Evercade was that Amiga in 2023. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Which one do you think is a better way to play Commodore games? The C64 Mini collection on C64 collection on Evercade, or C64 Mini micro console? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I post new videos whenever I can. If you like the video, if you enjoyed, share, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.